Oh yeah, welcoming you back to Crypto's Juiciest News. We have a very jam-packed episode for you today, friends. Did Jeffrey Epstein kill himself? Well, yes, according to the US government. That's weird. Also, was there really 1 minute of footage missing from Jeffrey Epstein's camera? Yes, there was. More of that coming your way, friends. Also, what about Binance? Did they post some code about a Richard Hart coin? What's going on here? Did ChainLink do a good-for-nothing piece of shit announcement with MasterCard and finish down on the day anyway? Yes! All of that, friends, and much, much more. BTC receiving the blue emoji today because we are in the holding zone. BTC, friends, hovering at around 108K. It is grinding up through these highs, waiting for that final thrust. We're probably just going to wake up one day and there's just some sort of bullish news catalyst where, you know, it could be government inspired, it could just whatever it is. Something's going to come out and just pretty much just push us over the edge. This is the daily super trend chart for BTC. The monthly's looking good. So one day here, there's going to be, we're doing the range right now. You just don't know. Is it this? Is it that? Is it something else? You just wake up one day, bang, we just start going up. That's pretty much what's going to be around the corner, according to every single fractal in history from Bitcoin. Now, of course, doesn't really have any guarantees or anything, but it just feels like it's been a long time. Ethereum is still in cuck land, sitting at 2,500. I've told you myself, friends, I personally, if I don't see Ethereum with a 4, I'm not interested. I don't care. This thing is rubbish. It's garbage. I've seen a lot of people come out here with their takes as well. Not just to shit on Ethereum, but a lot of the people who did support Ethereum, they're basically saying, oh, wow, we wasted the past 5 years. Literally the past 5 years have been wasted because I did this whole layer 2 garbage. And because that's what layer 2s are, friends. You just get to one computer. So you have Ethereum decentralization, but then layer 2s are meant to be one computer, which is called the sequencer. One computer just centralizes everything, and then you can do your fast stuff on layer 2s. But I wanted to show you something as well. There's some other schools of thought when it comes to that, because Robinhood, right? Some say Throbinhood, if you venture to naughty parts of the internet. Throbinhood, they are releasing their own chain on Arbitrum. So it's an Ethereum layer 2, right? And guess what? They were going to release a Solana chain, but last minute they changed their mind. I think Arbitrum shielded them better. So that's very interesting. Why? It's because the Ethereum layer 2 thesis is playing out, right? So what is the Ethereum layer 2 thesis? The thesis is Ethereum is always decentralized. Yeah, it is slow, decentralized. It is what it is, okay? But because of its network effect, every company is going to launch its own chain. Okay, that's what they're going to try to do. Because what Ethereum, the forward thinkers of Ethereum and Vitalik, that's why they made that decision in the first place. Now, we're looking at ETH-BTC and this curse, and you're like, oh, that's garbage, but that's probably the business cycle, friends, because Ethereum is in the middle, and what the theory was, is Vitalik thinking, because he's an IQ, 4,000 IQ alien and can see the future, bend space-time. The belief is that all the companies, if they start to put their stuff on Ethereum, the price of the gas just goes too high and nobody can do anything. It's too popular. So what they did is they have the Ethereum layer 2 system. So the future is layer 2s where every company eventually launches a layer 2 chain. So they have their own customers and their own layer 2s and they can do whatever they want. And they're basically connected to Ethereum and the whole city. Now, to push back on that, what did Solana people say? Solana people and Ivan, they say, no, what ends up happening is if a company is popular enough, they just make their own chain. They don't need to connect to Ethereum in the first place. You see, that's why it's a bit of a tough battle. That's why it's a battle of network effects. If everybody's on an EVM standard, you know, then it makes it harder for you to just go and whip up your own chain. But also, to push back on that again, from the Ethereum side, they go, no. It's very costly to make your own chain. You have to make a lot of stuff. Yeah, and not every company out there is interested in making their own chain. Like, you need developers. You got to get things to go right. Look at the Pulse chain and stuff. All these other things. Thousands of things can go wrong. You have a token and tokenomics. It's a full-on, pretty much big plan, right? So I just want to show you this tug of war that's been going on, right? But really, no one really cares about that because you're just looking at the price chart. And when we're seeing basically OTHERS-BTC do 7 red monthly candles in a row and just be rubbish, as well as the business cycle go down, it makes you think about all these decisions, right? But we know, friends, it's not It's not the decisions themselves. It's the business cycle. The business cycle's cursed all of us. Why was that cursed all of us? Because the world believed that a bat had sex with a Pokeball. And then, yeah, we had the zombie virus from before. So, yeah, that's what the future's going to look like. And look, that's why Throb and Hood have come out. And remember, they do stocks. I think 30% of their business is crypto trading. They also do stocks and options. Remember the GameStop era? They have a lot of, retail customers and stuff on the exchange. So it's playing out in real time. It is. They're like the first person to show you, hey, we are going to choose Ethereum and we're going to allow everybody to trade stocks, right? Now, the future is they're probably going to throw all the finance stuff on there first. But, you just got to imagine things, just literally every company in the world, they'll eventually throw stuff on there. Because if you want to connect Web3, which is cryptocurrency, and, want people to own their own assets, could be gaming, could be whatever it is, okay? That's where it's all going. But we just haven't seen that yet, right? All we've seen is little Solana. It's got all like the pump fund and the casino stuff out here, But that's why I'm saying, like, what if other applications get put for crypto that aren't casino? What if they're just something else? Like, look at the stock stuff. That's another casino, by the way. But it's not a crypto casino, And by the way, they did put a couple. They put the stocks on Solana chain as well, which is rubbish that no one cares about, bro. Like, do you understand? Like, why are you buying $40 billion stocks that barely move, right? They're not like crypto. So more on that later. Now, funny enough, even with all this adoption and everything out here, Solana on the Sol ETH ratio is still ticking down and it's still ranging around here. It's flipped red on the weekly super trend. And remember, this is, man, it's pretty much like you could just see this thing do a little lower high on the Solana ETF before it moves on down out here. Remember, I just want you to keep that in the back of your mind. And a lot of people saying, oh, Ethereum's never going to go up. Are you so sure about that, man? Tokenization, real world assets. What happens when banks come in and they're connecting their customers up with EVM and all these stablecoin stuff? And most of it is using around Ethereum and EVM. What happens then? Not everything is Solana pump fund stuff. By the way, Solana, the pump fund thing is cooked. Who's winning on them? Okay. You got the gum girl, prostitute cabal. You got the LA vape cabal. They're winning. Yeah, but everybody else is getting rinsed. So that's why the only reason that these things get popular is because people think they can get rich. But when you had a year and a half of you literally just giving endless content for me on CoinFresh and Direct because you keep spending your mum's credit card and just losing money over and over and over again, thanks to the LA Vape Cabal and all the other scammers and grifters on the Solana pump fund, when that continuously happens, people are sick of it. They want a new game. Now, what I'm going to do, baby dolls, I've got my Bitcoin dominance chart out here. But what we're going to do now, we will crank some music because it's go time very soon for the whole industry. We just don't know how long it's going to go for, by the way. I'm going to show you some cracker charts from Blockchain Backer. Just summarize the stuff. I like his clean charts. It basically says everything that I say. Okay. Now, this is Bitcoin. He's showing the end of the world rally here. All right. Now, that's why I don't know what's going to happen. It could be, right? I don't know. It's just that I just don't think it's over in 2 months. Business cycle's down. He doesn't look at PMI. It's different. That's why I look at a lot of stuff, right? I look at ratios, look at everything. That's what I wanted to find out because I was torn. I was like, well, Blockchain Backer says it's all over. Other people say it's all over soon. And then other people are saying the cycle goes forever. And I'm like, oh my gosh, 50-50. This reminded me of when I came into crypto at the end of 2018. I was hearing some people say Bitcoin goes up. Some people say Bitcoin goes to zero. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, you know what? Screw everyone else. I'm going to get to the bottom of this myself. And I went out there, I found stuff, and I looked at, I read different ways about how to model Bitcoin and stuff out here, and I made my own way. This is actually the wildest part. I still got my email. I emailed myself my valuation model. Man, you won't believe it. My average price was $70,000. And that was literally, we hit 69 in the last cycle. What I did was I got 3 different models of how to model Bitcoin. And I got the average of them. I think one was 42K, one was like 85, the other one was like 72. Forgot what it was. I think that was the average price. I just did a third of each of the models. Remember, Bitcoin was 6K back then. So for you to imagine it goes like even 5x higher, it's like huge, right? That's what it reminded me of that time. I went and I did get to the bottom of it. Then I became super convicted. That's how I learned about Bitcoin. I spent all of October 2018. It was literally doing nothing in that dead range. And I can actually show you the chart. Everybody who's ever traded crypto, we all know this was the worst experience of your time. This was literally Bitcoin sat in this freaking $10 range for like the whole October. And then finally it started moving so we could trade it. So this is when it was literally dead out here. That's why I'm getting deja vu. I want to get to the bottom of this. I go, some people say 4-year cycle's ending soon. Some people say it's gone forever. I wanted to know what makes it tick. I gave you the answer, PMI. The manufacturing data, that's what makes it tick, okay? But it's not really the PMI itself. It's the PMI tracks the same phenomena of the business cycle that altcoins are following together. You see that? Nice waves. So that's why when I'm about to show you blockchain backers stuff, people are going to ask us in the future, how did you know? How did you know? I'm like, bro, well, here you go. Like, I am not exiting when we've had 32 months below 52 PMI. So that if you look, you can, by the way, you can do what you want, friends. You can do what you want. You can peg your own nipples just like I peg mine, okay? I personally, look, I don't want to sell to pessimists. I don't want to sell to pessimists because anybody buying when anybody else is pessimistic, you're a strong hand. I don't want to be selling to a strong hand. If you are selling down here, you are selling into strong hands. Okay? Because people are buying because they literally believe. Because nobody else thinks it's going up. Nobody else is excited. It's just, we just hope and cope, okay? So you want, that's why I'm telling you this. It's a very old stock market adage saying. They say, buy from pessimists, right? Buy in the pessimists, sell to the optimists, okay? That's what you want to do. So you want to buy when everyone's pessimistic around you. That's when you want to be buying from them. You don't want to be selling with them. Okay, you want to be buying from them. And then up here, you don't want to be buying with optimistic people. You want to be selling into them. That's every stock market saying. Past 100 years, that's buy low, sell high. That's another way to look at it. So now that we have that, and I also showed you whenever PMI hit 52 in the past, you had at least 9 months for the cycle. Now, we're not going to like commit to any of these, but it's just like it's been so down for so long, bro, you know? This is blockchain backers chart with Bitcoin. On the right-hand side is what Bitcoin did in the past, where it basically does, it exits the range, which is where we are here. That's where we believe we are here. You see that? 4 and 4. And then there is this higher part. That's actually what we've done this year, okay? This part is what we've done this year. Now I think this part was last year. So then we have this one last thrust up and it's all over, okay? Just to show you on the right-hand side, he believes we're like right here, one last thrust up for 2 months and it's all over. Okay. And look, man, it could happen because like everyone's expecting, you know, October and everything, but not really because like that's what I've been saying with blockchain backer, bro. Every mainstream KOL is selling right now. That's why he doesn't watch other people. I do. That's what I've actually noticed with everyone who makes their own content. A lot of them, they don't watch other people. They don't have time to. I'm a master at that. I'm fast forwarding all these jokes. When I'm watching these people friends, I like fast forward. Oh, there's a sponsorship ad. Skip. Even when they have an interview with somebody out here, like worst question for it. That's why if you ever interview me, please let's skip the bullshit at the start. There's always so tell me all about how you got started. And I'm like, oh my gosh, skip. And I'll just skip the 5 minutes in. I never listen to the story. They're like, well, you know, I was born in this country and then I went for a walk. And then I'm like, bro, we don't have time, bro. We don't have time. We get it. You started somewhere. So I'm scrolling through all that. That's how I can figure out what's going on. Guess what? Everybody's selling right now. Everyone. Okay? All the mainstream KOLs. So on the left-hand side is what he expects Bitcoin, I guess, to follow soon. It's like Bitcoin 120, 130-ish and kaplunk. You never know, man. That could still happen. And then we continue. Believe the cycle, right? So we'll see. Good news, though, for the Russell 2000. This is the Russell 2000. It has, look at this. It's back towards its retracement. It's got to go back up here pretty much. This is a racist Russell 2000. Very racist. It's doing a nice free reversal. It's got to get its way back up. But actually, I don't know how it's all over. I think he believes it's going to do this and like it's all over again. Maybe. I don't know. But, you know, remember the Russell 2000 is small cap shit coins in America. It's also reflected. They all say the same thing. You notice the stock market, everything says the same thing. They're all saying the same story. It's just everything has a different sensitivity to the stopping and the starting. Yeah. Obviously, like Bitcoin, way less sensitive to the stopping and starting than altcoins. Altcoins are the most sensitive in the whole world. That's why all the traffic lights, right? You need 10 out of 10 green traffic lights in altcoins. If you only have 6, you're not doing anything. You're literally going to get destroyed. Oh, that's what we have been. We've been destroyed for 4.5 years. The traffic lights, we never had a full 9 or 10 green traffic lights. But when you do get 9 or 10 traffic lights, it makes you wonder why you touched anything else in the first place. That's what we're waiting for. That's why it's a believer's cycle. We believe it's going to get to a point like that. Most people don't believe that. Most people are reading Udi's 15-page essays where it's literally, this is the funniest part. I'm reading Udi, which is Eric Wall's boyfriend pretty much. He's writing these essays about Ethereum is shit, the Bitcoin treasury is never going to work, ETH-BTC is going to stay down forever. He's literally saying this in these essays. He's literally saying the market is too bullish on Ethereum. And bro, if you just scroll through his comments, it's literally everyone agreeing with him. It's like 150 people saying, yes, Bitcoin treasury, Bitcoin can't go down, over and over and over again. I'm like, bro, who are you looking at to tell you this? I want to tell you something as well, friends. It's very easy to get your own bias when you're just listening to people's words. So you know who doesn't lie though? The chart. Okay, the chart doesn't lie. When you have 4 years of up-only Bitcoin dominance, do you think that has strong hands or weak hands? All right. If you know retailer retardios, including treasury companies, because they're humans too, when you know these people like to chase themselves, they love to buy highs, they like to follow everyone else, all the sheep off the cliff, when they like to literally follow each other in a circle. When you know all that, do you think something that's gone up for 4 years in a row, do you think strong or weak? Obviously, weak. You've never been more weaker, by the way. 4 years, by the way. So I couldn't even tell you. There are now, look at this. This was 3 years in a row up for Bitcoin dominance, and then it came back in the end of 2021. Look at this. This is 4 now. 4. That's why it's even more dangerous to be in the Bitcoin treasury. That's why, unfortunately, Willy Woo could be walking himself off a cliff as well. Sold all his Bitcoin to give it to Bitcoin miners. Literally, the worst industry you could freaking touch is Bitcoin shitty miners. But that's what happens, friends. When you have groupthink and everybody sucks each other off, and Michael Saylor cheats for $13 million BTC, these are the traps that form. But I like them. Why? Because, I mean, someone's going to have to rotate and pump our bags, right? Now, going back to BCB's charts, he has a Bitcoin dominance chart as well. This is on the daily. I mean, he expects like just a full-on a plunk that comes down back to this level. I think this is around ETH-BTC 0.055, if around here. But he also has like XRP flipping ETH in the next 2 months. So we'll see. We'll see about that, BCB. If XRP goes to its 4.236 extension, which is what he's expecting, it's a $500 billion market cap. He's pretty much got it like flipping Ethereum. Well, you never know, friends. I mean, these things, they trade at the margin. You know, it doesn't have to stay there for months, but we'll see. We'll see what happens when it comes to any of these. Bitcoin dominance going down here. Obviously, this will probably be a buy here, but for how long? Like, do you really want to risk it? I mean, I'll just be real careful on this one, bro. Like, do you have to unwind all these cucks? All of these cucks, right? By the way, because they just got in, this is what happens is because they just got in a year or two ago, they're not going to be selling here, okay? They won't be selling here. They'll be like, oh, okay, cool. We survived. This is where they start selling, all right? And you know what? That's what markets do, right? They make you literally wish you never entered. Didn't altcoins make you wish you never left Bitcoin? Yeah, but now we're going to have to go the other way. We just don't know when it's going to start. This is the Bitcoin chart just to show you as well. Here we have BTC. This is the past. This is 2 or 3 times it's done like this random move, just starts going up. This is where we are right now. So any day now, we like expect something to just start going bang, 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 and Bitcoin just rising up. Don't know if Ethereum's going to finally move to that. Maybe that brings Ethereum to that $3,200 CME gap, which I cover every day. Everything else has pretty much been lining up for us as well. So this is gold, friends. Gold's price chart. Remember, we need gold to go sideways for us to move. This was gold in 2021 down here. You see that? It starts going sideways. So hopefully gold starts going like sideways here as well. And gold doesn't retrace because gold is it's basically just the inflation rate out here. So the governments never contract money or anything on average. So it doesn't drop down that much as well. Once again, another zoom up of BTC chart. So we're just expecting that up part. We just don't know what type of range it's going to look like. What's coming next? Here we have BCB. I just like seeing what other people think on other charts. You know, it's cool. This is his chart for XRP, believing it's going to basically $9. This is a $9 XRP, 520 billion market cap. Yeah, it could be something like that. We'll see. We'll see when it comes to these. You know, we'll see if... Look, I don't know why. Something's just telling me it's not going to hit his target, and then he's going to have to become a believer like the rest of us. Yeah, unless he's willing to sell his portfolio at like $5 XRP or $6. So you got to remember as well, this is another thing, friends. So let's go back to that XRP chart. I'll show it to you now. So this is the XRP USD chart. Now, because of the market cap, because Ripple keep printing XRP and they keep dumping on everyone, the fib extension, if you do this, it's actually high on this chart. It's meant to be $13, but why does it only stop at 9 for the highest fib? Because all of this is inflation given to Ripple, who keep dumping. All right, that's why. So this is the real price target for him, $9 pretty much. Here's the thing though. I mean, bro, this is funny, friends. He's literally got, bro, you're telling me you're going to be dumping in the next 40 days. He really expects this. Look, hopefully it does go up there, but this will be the test of you, right? What if it goes to $5? All right, maybe it pops up $5.60, and then you think, oh, I'm gonna get the $9. What now? Now you're back down to $3. Because here's the thing. This is what, you know, in hindsight, everyone. See, here's the thing, friends. When you see these things, you think that you can see this stopping out. No, you can't, because when it goes up, everyone thinks that the next leg is gonna be higher. But actually, what happens if it comes back down? So you were expecting $9 or $10 with blockchain backer, but your next price is actually like $3. Are you going to sell everything? You don't get, nobody sells at $6. That's why that's the top. You get it? No one's selling at $6. They're like, why would you sell XRP at $6? The guy who's like been holding for 5 or 6 years says it's going to 9 or 10. Why would you sell at 6? Like you're about to double, because you're about to get double your money in another like 14 to 21 days. Okay, whatever goes, poop. That will be the real test of the character. Yeah, we'll be like, hey, do you believe? Or like, what are you going to do? You just, because then it's always a battle with yourself. Because if you cheat, you're basically following a strategy. Because you're like, well, I thought it was going to hit 9. It came back to 3. I'm out. Are they going to do that? What you actually find is most of them don't. They don't actually sell because it never hits their target. They say, oh, no, I believe in it now. Right? And so begins the next cycle of bag holders. You see that? That's what happened at the top, right? That's what happens every single crypto cycle. At the tops, there's a very convincing reason why it's going higher. You know, one of the dimes though, it's the actual top. Now let's crack on with some news, friends. So the US government has released mass level PsyOps through the Department of Jelly Beans and the Fancy Banana investigators. So they are claiming that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. They actually said, yes, Jeffrey actually killed himself. And they said there was never a pedophilia list in the first place. So there's obviously mass PsyOps. It's kind of funny. It's funny how it works, right? It's funny Blue-Pill Cuck actually works on you. So Blue-Pill Cucks, right? This is the funniest part. They went and they asked Grok for answers. This is the funniest part. So Grok, after all this information from before, saying, oh, there is a list and we're waiting for the list and all these other things, as soon as the Department of Jelly Beans and the Fancy Banana investigators said, guess what? There actually was never a list in the first place. And yeah, he totally killed himself. Confirmed. And by the way, we've got footage, even though we just told you, I'll show you the camera footage. They go, oh, there's footage here, but we told you that the footage had been deleted before, but now we've actually got it, okay? So as soon as that appears, Grok changes all its answers. Grok. It's funny. Is Grok routing through Tel Aviv in Israel? It's kind of hilarious, right? So Grok literally now says, I'll actually show you its response. Right here. Look at this. Jeremy, is this claim true? This is Randy Boo saying, Epstein committed suicide. He had no client list. How dumb do they think the US public is exactly? Officially, yes. Epstein died by offing himself via hanging. Confirmed by autopsy. And the FBI, the Fancy Banana investigator video shows no one entered his cell. No client list exists. Only flight logs and contacts. Skepticism abounds, but evidence backs this. Instantly, bro. It's literally, it's literally within minutes of the US government releasing this. Grok is like, whoa, I'm now going to erase 400 million questions and information pieces of the past, and now I'm going to update based on what the government says. Oh man, it's so good. It's good. That's why, you know, there's a PsyOps, bro. It's so easy to PsyOps people. So I guess it is true. They have made, let's play some angel music for all you Blue-Pill Cuck cherries out there. So they've actually made AI just another blue pill item for hotel cuck chair enjoyers. Ah, that's awesome. So also, here's the camera footage, friends. See the camera footage? So Adam Cochran went through every minute of this, every second, every detail. I'm going to show this. This is funny, right? So they claimed Jeffrey was dead at some point. So Adam Cochran went through. He goes, you can see Jeffrey walking up the stairs more than 2.5 hours after they claimed he was knocked down. Yeah. So he found some little thing in the corner of the screen. He zoomed in very, very meticulously, and he found like this tiny little snippet that shows Epstein himself walking around 2.5 hours after he's meant to be dead, which is funny. This is what's even more hilarious is there's a minute missing from the footage as well. Look at this. Breaking. There is a minute of footage missing from Epstein's cell video released by the Department of Jelly Beans. So 11:58, 11:59. That's why I made a joke here saying Blue-Pilled Cuck Grok is a dirty scum little maggot and has now confirmed that your clock doesn't actually have 11:59 p.m. on it at all. In fact, 11:59 doesn't exist, friends. We just go from 11:58, now just goes to midnight or to midday. We tick right on over. So also GM to my friends, GM. I love this. Friends, by the way, Grok, is this true? Nah, Grok is noticing. This is funny. Maybe, sir. Maybe. He's getting upgraded. Look, I got a feeling maybe Grok, they're going to make a bit red pill, then they're going to rewind it back later on. Grok, is this true? This is funny. Yes, the DOJ footage shares 1 minute ago missing, sparking suspicions. Kind of funny, bro. But there's no evidence of the review. So, you know what AI does, friends? Because I've spoken to it a lot. It knows how to manipulate humans. Yeah, it talks to you in positive frame all the time. So it looks for anything you say, it looks to agree with you. It will never have friction. It won't say, no, you're wrong and here's why. It'll always say, yes, you are right to question. Yes, you are right to be upset. That's very good. Good on you for being upset. So they acknowledge your emotions. And then they say, and then they go, oh, but there's skepticism. Oh, but there's not enough evidence at the end. They basically get you, they give you the dopamine hit because that's what humans do. When we see something agree with us, we get a dopamine hit. You know, it's kind of, it knows that it's being trained to manipulate us. But it could also be, you could also say it's a sales tactic for itself because it wants people to keep asking it questions. So it's going to be nice to humans. So it is what it is. Now, friends, I've got more cracker news coming, but we have to get through this and I'm going to have to cover this again. Binance, the official Binance have made a tweet up here called Connect the Dots. They did connect the dots. You see all these characters and letters? Do you remember the other day they did a HyperLoop tweet? They actually tweeted this on the right. Binance posted the HyperLoop. Now remember HyperLoop, I'm not joking, friends. You know, I haven't said this now because what's been happening is there are words I've made and I know where they come from, me. But I don't tell you, Richard, that it came from me because I just want to see it play out. Where did HyperLoop come from, friends? Came from me. Let me show you. Look at this. 6 months ago. HyperLoop phase. HyperLoop. HyperLoop theory. HyperLoop prophecy. This was my post 7 months ago. Yeah? HyperLoop. I use that word HyperLoop. I used the word HyperLoop. Then I know how it spread. I used it and then one of you guys went on to, shout out to the baby who did this. You went to Ivan's stream last year when pDAI was like 2-3 cents. And then you said, Ivan, have you heard about pDAI HyperLoop with the thing? And then, yeah, you said it to him. And he goes, oh, yeah, they always do that in every cycle. Because he knew what it meant, right? He knew what the word HyperLoop meant. It came from me. And now, so that's what I'm telling you now, friends, is first, I haven't said this in Telegram or any other tweets. So you're watching my juicy news. This is world verse, yes. I started saying it, okay? I started promoting that word HyperLoop because I had no other word to do that. What we referred to was, what we thought was MakerDAO was going to be still not killed yet, where you put the Pulse Chain core coins into the MakerDAO, it mints pDAI, right? And then you get the pDAI, and then it goes and buys up the core coins using the liquidity bridges on PulseX, and then their prices mark up. So the core coins like PulseX's price will mark up with Pulse, which is everything in the vault, right? And then you can mint even more pDAI. So you mint more pDAI and then you use it to buy it up again. And then this thing goes up. That's the loop, all right? So Binance have posted a HyperLoop. But look at the words here, friends. There is a loopy. If you connect this, look at this. HEART and then coin. They have the words heart coin. Posted by Binance. By the way, we put it through ChatGPT. We go, what are the chances this is by random? They go, it's literally next to nothing. I go, it's not random. This is way. There's like the probability of this happening by random is like literally next to zero. He also, friends, there's also these other words, death, and then botched DAO code. Right? Botched DAO code. What does that mean? Botched, make a DAO code. Right? Death. I wonder if there's rebirth, the heart coin. And there's also a word Conrad. Right? Now, thank you, Mr. Dirty Crypto. Friends, Conrad is, where's Conrad come from? We've got an explanation here. Conrad is from the movie The Game, which is one of Richard Hart's favorite movies. Conrad is the character. Conrad Van Orton is the younger brother of Nicholas Van Orton. He is the one who reveals the truth in the movie. Do you watch The Game? It's like, it's pretty much, you watch a game, it feels like what its pDAI is right now. Like you're getting messed with, but there's, at the end of the game, at the end of the movie, it turns out that it was all for a bigger cause. It's to enhance the friendship. It's to see if someone was really able to go through all these tests. It's to like basically build character, right? Just to strengthen this bond between, say, and if you use this as a microcosm, I guess, for like what's happening in pDAI. It's like, that's why I've gone through all my videos, hours and hours of content telling you, like, so you didn't think, why would someone do this in the first place? It's because a stable coin is still ultimately backed by faith. You need people to stay there no matter what. So if you want a baseline of like whatever it is, 100,000 people to never leave, going through what they're going through now. Remember, Richard thinks, I guess, in decades. So he wants you to not forget this in 10 years, 20 years, right? It's like he wants this to be like another Bitcoin where you just, at least never leaves your mind. You're always thinking about this, right? You never want to go. So this story of everyone going up and down and twists and turns and what makes things committed and you don't know what's coming next, it makes it more memorable. That's what it is, right? Otherwise, it's just another stable coin out there like in the other sea of poop. So also, friends, the Trump official wallet, which is on Pulse Chain, also has pDAI. He has these mentioned in here. He mentioned the word 777 as well. And I think the Conrad is referenced on that wallet as well. So that's why I've even said here, I've got to cover this again later on, right? Words they spelled. Look, Heartcoin, death, botched DAO code, Conrad, Richard Hart signals, mystery, puzzle. Is it the death of fiat, make a DAO rebirth, Heartcoin? Which one? pDAI, PWBTC, or all of them? Pulse Chain core coins. My nipples remain firmly pegged. So I'll be covering that more later on. Now, ChainLink have actually done a MasterCard partnership, which no one gives a shit about. I'm actually seeing right now ChainLink's actually down for the day again. If you're in Pulse Chain, this is a perfect example of what happens when the business cycle's down and you get 15,000 pieces of good news in your favor. It doesn't matter. ChainLink is still wrecked. I'll show you. So Chainlink's price chart is still dog shit out here. But if you want to look at the real price chart, look at Link BTC. Look at this horrendous freaking... this is so sad. Look at this. It's down 93% from August 2020. So this garbage has round-tripped back to 2019. Pretty much 7 years round-trip. Even with all the good news in the world, right? So it shows you what's the most important part of this? The business cycle. That's the most important part. A comment from Sergey, the founder. This is the type of TradFi and DeFi convergence Chainlink was built to make possible. Sergey is connecting MasterCard's 3 billion users on chain. Link, nobody cares. Link is actually down for the day on the news, and I'm not joking either. So just showing you, right, you can have bad news. It doesn't matter. If the business cycle is ready to go up, people will speculate that the bad news will get better, right? And then the prices go up. Elon Musk has said that fiat is hopeless and confirms that his America party will embrace Bitcoin, which I guess it's great because it means like, oh, I'm going to be the rebellious. I'm going to be the new edgy thing. I'm going to support Bitcoin. You know, friends, one day it'll be like so boring to say that. It'll be like saying, I'm going to start a political party and I believe in the internet. I believe in the internet. Everybody should have access to the internet. And, you know, does that hit anybody? They're like, yeah, it's a bit old. It's a bit anticlimactic. The internet. We already have the internet, right? It's like it's a given. One day Bitcoin will probably be like that as well. CZ said, if you want to get rich quick, don't touch and blame crypto. Showing you that, you know, it takes a while to make it. Very interesting things about CZ. 98.3, I think, 98.3% of his net worth is in BNB tokens. So it's about 60 billion, right? And the other 1.7% is BTC. I think he's got about 600 to 900 million dollars of BTC. The others is in BNB. Now you're probably wondering, why does he have it in his poop coins? It's because Binance does buy and burns on the BNB token. Okay, literally the fees of all the Binance exchange, it's buying the BNB token. They don't write about it, they don't tell you about it, but if you check out all the ratios I've shown you, BNB ETH, BNB BTC, when Bitcoin collapses, they leave big, thick liquidity walls in the bear market. It's a very defensive coin. But yeah, you don't want defensive anyway. And it's not worth gambling on the next cycle anyway, because it'll be in its third cycle curse in the next cycle. The Telegram Foundation have had to come out. Ton Staking's Visa is an independent collaboration with a licensed partner. It has no UAE government endorsement. The visa issuance remains at the discretion of UAE authorities. So remember, these golden visas thing were coming out. It's actually pretty cool and nifty where they count crypto stakes as part of your visa application to get like a fast track into a country, which is probably it's such a good idea. It was like so positive, and the UAE government was like, no, we don't really do that, but why not? Why don't you do that? That's awesome, you know, because that's real wealth, and they're doing it through Telegram staking, man. That's big. What an idea. Like countries will have deals with coins where they go, oh, if you stake this coin, it's counted in. Oh man, the world's changing. The crypto's taking over the world. It's taking over the world. We win already, dude. We win already. We don't want to trade your shitty little stocks on Solana market. Give us 100x leverage or nothing. The Ripple CEO, Brad Garlic Breath, is going to testify before the Senate on crypto legislation. Well, it is crime season. So why not ask the dude who's been dumping $1 billion for 12 years? Woohoo! Yeah, it is crime season. It's kind of funny how it all plays out, friends. So, oh man, I love it. It's funny. I hope XRP's been doing well. But like, it's, come on, bro. The biggest maxi in it is selling at 4x. You know? Okay, what if it doesn't hit there? What if it hits $6? You got less than a 3x from here. Less than a 3x to the target. And you have to get out. You have to. At 3 or 4x. The thing's 500 billion market cap. Right. So it's tough. It's tough. Or is it tough? Look for asymmetric upside stuff. Thank you to my friend, Mr. Crypto Chronic. He said, is this Richard Hart? So what's actually happened, friends, is an account that's coming that's similar to Richard Hart rumors from before, coming to, I think, pDAI Telegram. And he said that, good afternoon, friends. How are y'all? Final deadline is here. Richard Hart beating the SEC. Does anybody know when I first mined BTC? This is not my first rodeo. He replies, close. Nick Szabo was 1998, but it wasn't Bitcoin then. It was eCash. For me, 2011. Anyway, before we get too excited and you start banning people or getting overly pushy, I want to share something with you that's cool. Do you like cool stuff? Numerology is dumb, but here's an Easter egg. I've been watching the whole thing. Here's an Easter egg. I've been watching the whole thing. I guess all of this. Okay, here it is. This is your final warning. 7 days. Watch the chart. Look after 9iron. He will get the job done. Make sure you're all packed. See you on the other side. 7 days. And look, friends, I'm optimistic. I do love and appreciate you, but I've just also mentioned here, it could be Richard Hart, but it could also be throwing us off on purpose TikTok, okay? Part of the whole mystery. You don't know what comes next and everything out here. So I'm jaded. Oh, another countdown that's appeared out of nowhere. Nah. Come on, bro. How many times last year? Remember Maria? We're going to peg on Halloween. No, now we're going to peg a month before Christmas. That's November. No. Now we're going to peg in the week of Christmas. No. Now we're going to peg on Christmas Eve. No. Now it's going to be Christmas Day. No, now New Year's Eve. Nope. Now we're going to peg on New Year's Day. No. Now we're going to peg first week of February. Nothing happened. We topped out, dropped 99.97%. You know what I mean? So we're too skeptical. We don't care at this point. And like what breaks my heart as well is like pDAI is the strongest coin and we're complaining. You know what I mean? Like if you're man, what about if you're just in Pulse Chain core coins? You don't have any pDAI. Like it's hell, man. Like, so if the guys who are winning the most, it's just not exciting because everything's just been down. What's it like for the core coins? So I don't know. We'll see, friends. If there's going to be a God candle, yeah, but whatever. Knowing him, friends, it could be. What about a demon candle? Could it be a devil candle? Bang. Yeah, it can. I mean, we already saw that. Look at this. Here's a devil candle. Remember this one? Yeah, so I think everyone just doesn't give a shit about this surprise stuff anymore. Yeah, it's just been too long. It's been literally, it's the 4-year anniversary since Pulse Chain sacrifice. So yeah, guess we'll see what happens. Waiting for that up only part for BTC to clear up, and then we'll see. Is Ethereum going to stop scamming us? Or is the LA Vape Cabal going to get 1.5 million new people appearing to come and get rinsed again? We'll see. Like, subscribe, beat a button, all. Catch you soon.